Stage, Robett Hollis.
Bravery in action.
Yeah. Good, everybody. Mega. This is rad. So, I'm the guy that Minister Flavel said after you get past the bros and slang and shit, you understand what I'm saying. I'm that guy. I have one goal here today, and this is very simple for me, is to add as much value to the other side as possible without asking anything in return, and that's how I roll. So, for starters as well, I woke up this morning, I was real pissed off for 3 reasons. One, I couldn't be here last night. I had another charity foundation thing in Hamilton to do, and there were some people here that I really wanted to hang out with last night because there's a whole bunch of kind of people that I really look up to, so I was pissed off about that. 2, I was pissed off because I got like pretty much no sleep last night because I was so hyped for today. I was like, man, the energy in this room is going to be so sick. And then the third one is I'm pissed because literally right after this, I've got to boost back to AK because my wife's best friend's never been to All Blacks game, so we're going to surprise her for this big thing. So if I'm not back, if you meet my wife, I've got to be back. She's like half Mexican Spanish, so she's quite like stabby. So I'll be back in Auckland today. That's first thing. So I didn't actually write, pretty much, I have no plan in life except just, I'm like a kamikaze speedboat that's here to blow up cruise ships. So I've got just some quick things I want to quite get through, and I didn't have anything written down until about 10 minutes ago. I was just outside, just cranking some beats, just like getting at it. And first I just wanted to say like a massive thanks, because I've actually never been in a room with so many Maori entrepreneurs before, and for me this is like super, I think this might be the biggest concentration per capita ever in the history of the evolution of the world ever for Māoridom, which is pretty rad, so props. And then for that, it's obviously like him and his crew rad, and obviously been getting a chance to interact with a bunch of like him and his crew and different organisations over the last couple of years, and it's been like awesome. Second person I want to shout out here is a guy, Selwyn Hayes. Stand up. Stand up. Hey, stand up. Come on. I just want to give him a massive props as well. I've been working on a couple of things with some pretty big vision stuff that I've got for the next sort of stage of my life, and he's kind of helping come to the party on that, so big ups to him and the boys at Iwai Tahi for helping out. And then thirdly, before I get into my rant of death, is Claire McGowan. Please stand up. So Claire is pretty much, she's in my inner circle of inner circles, and literally in the New Zealand ecosystem of everything that's awesome in this space. I trust her with my life, and she does amazing things, and her intent is in the right place, and I'm honoured that she spends time for a little peasant like me. So thank you, Claire. All right. Put your hand up if you've got any idea who I am at all. All right, half. All right, the others, I'm coming for you in the next 5 minutes. Okay, I'll keep this really simple and brief. Born up in Arapahui, Dargaville, till I was 4. Moved over to Fiji. My dad was working for like a Habitat for Humanity thing, helping build work with villages and stuff. They built houses, which was amazing, and my mum was a school teacher. When I was 9, I moved back to Aranui and moved to Christchurch in a place called Aranui. So put your hands up here if you know Christchurch. Put your hands up if you know Aranui. Yes, it is the shit part of everywhere in Christchurch. So that was me. And then basically, I'll just get like, I've got so much rad shit below this. I just want to get to the. You can Google my story, and it's got sound and music behind it. It's like, ee. But when I was, a couple key things happened. So older sister, younger sister. When I was 11 years old, my dad had a double brain hemorrhage and went back to the brain capacity of a 6-year-old. So when I was 11, I was the man of the house. Right? That sucked. But it was an instant tipping point to what do I want to become? Do I want to be here for my family and become strong to keep these things tight? Or do I want to be loose? And obviously growing up in, I don't know, Christchurch, she had other options were potentially not so cool. Chose to do that. Second part, when I was 15 years old, my dad finally got back in to where, it's like where he was sort of before. And then on New Year's Eve, we were in a car crash, and I watched my dad pass away in front of me in a car crash. That sucked, right? So then I had another option. It was like, okay, well now do I really take the easy out for what was around me at the time? Basic bullshit. Or do I decide to become something more? A couple of months later, I went to my careers advisor. They had a CD-ROM at the time, and for anyone under 20, a CD-ROM is... so they had this thing, and it pissed me off, right? So I roll up, and you go through this, it's like it's like a questionnaire thing. You get to the end, and it says what you can do with your life or what you can do. Anyway, at 15, Dad's passed away, I'm stuffed up, got all this shit going on, and then it comes out and it says, congratulations, Robett, you could work at a warehouse packing boxes. Right? You laugh, but for me, that was the single most motivating moment in my entire life, because I knew that from that point, every single thing I did was going to prove everyone wrong. Right? So what I do, I set some pretty big goals, right? The first one was I just wanted to get out of Aranui, right? And now in the spot, why it's named Aranui Ventures is because I want every single awesome thing that I do forever in entirety to represent something that people have the perceptions of that it's not so good, right? I don't care about glitz and glam. I don't care about Robett and Co. I like to kind of stealth and do my thing, but that's my driver on that. So it's so much more than me. I used to play sport a lot. I played soccer for New Zealand, played basketball for New Zealand, and then I decided, well, actually what happened is after my dad passed away, I realized I wanted to do something for me, and snowboarding was my thing. Snowboarding enabled me to get on top of a mountain, be able to see down, look and flow and feel, and like, it sounds all hippie and shit, but literally being at the top of the mountain with everything in front of you, and you have nothing but creativity and expression to do whatever you want to the bottom, and gravity takes you, is such an epic, epic feeling, right? And so that, for me, that just was like opportunity and awesomeness. I became a professional snowboarder, traveled the world, ranked number 1 in New Zealand, got second at the world finals, started a snowboard media company, expanded to New Zealand's largest action sports network, started a content agency, built one of New Zealand's, did some Sky City, Mini Heineken, Verve Clico, yada, yada, yada. And then Collab, shared workspace, now 10 floors, 7 buildings in Auckland, and looking to roll out nationwide. So we've got some cool stuff going on. That's kind of blah, because all that basically means is like, what's my story? My story is, for the last, it's awesome when Jason spoke about it before, was kind of going through his layers and stacks. I just think I'm getting started. So the fact that you've got like, Ian Taylor, like that presentation was flipping rad, by the way. Ian, you got Steve, you got, like these awesome guys, and there's me. This is like a joke, So, like, it's flipping crazy. So I just think like I'm getting started, but what I actually think is I'm just going from, like, I do a lot of like self stuff, and I'm thinking, the reality is all I'm trying to do is get from being a prove myself to others mentality to providing value to the platform that I've now built, right? So transition out, because if you just be the whole time like stuff you, it's like, then what, And I think that's pretty blah. So that's kind of where I'm at. Now I've basically got 7 minutes 30 to bombard you with bullet points of shit that's in my head. The first one is, ideas are shit, execution is everything. Everyone that I talk to, 90% of them is like, bro, I got this sick idea for this app, man, I got this thing. It's like, dude, I don't give a shit, show me, right? So execution is everything. Do it. It gives you leverage, which gets you in the door to show the other side that you're not full of shit. That means something to me. In action sports world, you can't go and talk, oh man, tomorrow I'm going to do this sick double backflip or this 100-foot jump, because the next day you get up with your boys, and if you don't do it, what? You're full of shit, right? And then then all you are is, that's your reputation, that's your brand, and all you've actually got is that. And I think, right, so for me, my thing is, legacy is greater than currency, right? I don't care about all the stuff, like dollars is blah. Creating value is rad, My story, people don't even realize, your children's children are going to watch what you did on Facebook today. Like, that's the craziest thing. So I think every time what my great kids are like, oh, sweet, and then you did that. Oh, and you can sort of see the moves, you can see the hustle. Second one, this time clock's tripping me out, man. Second one, intent trumps everything, right? Intent trumps everything. Because I know that if I'm buddies with someone and I know their heart is pure and they're doing the right things, if they eat shit and fail, but if their intent is right, you're going to let them come back for round 2. And so many people get caught up in this thing where it's like, oh, if I fail, it's over. People like fail fast. I'm like, stuff that, win fast, right? Stuff that, win fast. I don't want to go around failing all the time. It's like it happens, but just get to the win, because that's way better. It's just how I feel. And it's sorry for my looseness. You now understand, grew up an Aranui hood kid, then I went pro snowboard world, traveled the world, did absolutely everything, and now I'm like here. Like, I'm not going to be in a suit. It's weird, sorry. long game, the next one, put your hand up if you're under 30. Rad. All right. Long game versus short game, right? Earlier this year, Buddy rolled me on a deal. I wouldn't say Buddy now, obviously. Rolled me on a deal for 20 grand, right? And for him, it's a big deal. For me, I didn't see it like that. I saw it as, if I'm only 30 and I'm hoping to do damage till I'm like 100, but let's say 70 of like bits or whatever. So 40 years, 20 grand, 40 years, he's burnt that bridge and it's gas because he wanted to take the short-term upside instead of the long-term gain. 40 grand over 20 years, that doesn't actually work out to that much cash if you split it over the whole entire thing. Then if you work that out on a per year basis and then a per week basis, the cost of that bridge is usually about X. And if that X is upside or downside is so much more than do it, then why do the deal to gas someone for the 20K? So long game over short game. I'm playing the game, so in 20 years' time, if all the shit blows up, the young kid in here who's the next CEO, whatever, is like, is intense, right? Here goes a good guy. Whatever. Long game versus short game. Too many people playing short game, and it pisses me off. White space. Right now, technology has just basically enabled a whole bunch of vision and opportunity. And if you can see where it's going to and you know you can get there ahead of the puck, that's where there's a whole bunch of disproportionate upside, which not many people are looking at. So when people are looking at tech in New Zealand, all I'm seeing is there's no reason that you can't go from local to global and stay exactly where you are. And when people are like, oh, there's nothing around them, blah, 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 I gave this analogy before, that's bullshit. As soon as you've got internet, you've got exactly what the guy in Silicon Valley has. So if the data's there and the knowledge is there, it doesn't cost you much to be able to figure out if it's worth or not. Big one for me in the last year, self-awareness. Being really, truly honest to what you suck at and what you're good at. Going all in, all chips in, doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on your strengths. Stuff the weaknesses. You've got partners, they talk about JVs, 100%. Partner with everyone that is better than you at the other stuff and don't have enough ego that you lose opportunity because you think you know everything. Because you don't. You're a flipping idiot. Age up. Oh, man, 3 minutes. It seems so hard. It's flipping freaking me out, man. Age up. When I was 15, I was trying to hang out with 40-year-olds. When I'm 30, like, I want to hang out with the oldest people possible. Why? Because they've gone through all the shit that I haven't even touched yet. So when I listen to these guys up here, I'm like so hyped because I know that now I at least have the potential chance to have access to them and the experience and IP and knowledge that they've gone through. You obviously need to pivot and translate it to your own layer. Not many people are doing that enough. Age up, get around people way smarter than you because you cannot do everything by yourself. Big one for me in the last year, currency reveals character, right? Currency reveals character. You throw money in the mix to anyone's relationships anywhere and you'll see how they really roll, right? Especially, like I'm sure Jace has gone through a lot of that, right? Especially with that stuff. Currency reveals character. I'm so like in tune on this shit because I know it's so real. People are like, don't do business with friends, don't do business with families. I'm like, dude, 100% do it. Throw a grand in the mix, you'll figure out exactly what's up. You know, like, and I'd rather lose 10 today then 100 in 2 years, then 1 million in 5, then 100, you know, whatever. And so this here, that moment of me there, that's me in Auckland. So my goal is when I'm 60, I'm going to own that team, right? I'm going to own that team when I'm 60. I've got 30 years. That's exactly why I did it. I'm going to own the Raiders, and I want to. And I might not get there, but the journey and struggle of that is going 10, 100x of what I should be doing. And that is the stuff you to the person who said I'd be packing boxes. But at the same time, the platform I'm building now that enables startups to go from 10,000 users to 1.5 million and smashing it, that allows all this amazing stuff, that means a lot to me. So now what, right? What I've realized is that I don't represent me. What I represent is a young Māori doing well in a space that Māoris aren't even known in. I realized that I took all the boxes that other people can potentially exploit. I sit at this tipping point where I can relate to anyone under 30 and I can still talk shit with people in suits of billion-dollar telcos. And I steamroll them. Why? Because I'm self-aware enough to know who I am, what I'm about, and I need nothing from no one, and I literally want everything I say is with the purest intent because they know that my intent is right. And that is so much value that people aren't understanding. So what I'm going to do is a couple of things. For starters, we've already, 10 floors, we've got all the stuff rad. What I'm doing is on November 25th, I'm doing New Zealand Entrepreneurs conference in Auckland. And what I want every single person in this room to do is invite one Maori friend and one white friend, and then all of a sudden we've got almost 1,000 people in the room, and can you imagine the damage that was going to get done after that 12 hours? I've also created a website called powermoves.co.nz. Now, on that website, I've basically put a free resource tab of everything that I know that exists within the ecosystem to add value to others. I've also put a call to action in there where anyone can put their flip in, name, where they live, their date of birth, and iwi, if applicable, because the database doesn't exist for entrepreneurs in New Zealand yet, that we're going to ramp up, and so we can connect like this on a local level. I can't scale my time one-on-one, but we can scale through content, and technology has allowed us to be able to connect with each other. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. You guys are rad. Yeah.